All right, let's see. Good evening, good evening, good evening. How's everybody's day going? There we go. Okay, guys. Facebook has been acting up since yesterday. So we're trying to make sure everything is working properly. Is that working properly? All right, well, good evening, everybody. Sorry for the tardiness. You are on live with Jared and Marquita. Get the camera. Conversations with Jared and Marquita.
Wipe that off. What's good, everybody?
Is that clear for you? Hey, everybody. Sorry for the tardiness. Facebook is giving us some issues this evening. But we're on. We're just getting back from our kids' football game. And we're jumping right into conversations with Jared and Marquita. So we just celebrated 15 years. We just celebrated 15 years on Friday. So,
All right. Okay. Go ahead, Bill. There we go. All right. All right. Come on back up to the camera. All right. Hey, Alicia, Miss Dee Dee, Tamika, Glenn, what's good, everybody?
hey, everybody. Everybody chiming in. Thank you, Tamika. 15 years this past Friday. We're celebrating our 15th wedding anniversary. And we did some dating, some simple, we've had simple dates throughout our 10 year. We just wanted to talk about that because I think it's the simple things that are most impactful. I mean, we like the grand deals, however, sometimes either you just can't or sometimes you just don't feel like doing all the big stuff. You just want it to be intimate and yet sentimental and yet memorable. So that's what we're going to talk about this evening.
All right. So before we start, y'all got any questions or any topics that we need to address before we start? Before we jump in for that. Again, we're going to be talking about simple dates, dating. Dating is important. Single, of course, if you're single, then you're dating a lot, or you're dating. I say a lot. And of course, if you're married, unfortunately, some people stop dating when they get married, and that's a killer of a relationship, of a marriage. So that's what we're going to talk about. So before we do that, I just need to know if there are any questions or concerns that we need to address. Y'all want us to address over the last few or more weeks that we've been talking about a whole lot of different subjects here and there. And what I've noticed, what's up, Joe? What's up, Jocelyn? What I've noticed is that from having these conversations, from you and I having these conversations, people have, or couples have been like having some hard conversations too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some have been like, it's been even uh, difficult just sitting there with
next to their companion, like
watching and listening to us talk, and being transparent and whatnot. And for me, it's necessary. It's necessary for us to have these conversations because not too many people have these conversations. We like to see in Marriage Club happy anniversaries, 20 years, 15 years, or whatever, but nobody really tells, how we got there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Or no one is really transparent to the point because to the point of just sharing like this is what's happening, this is how we get over certain humps. Mm-hmm. No one really shares that part of relationships. because they're embarrassed,
Right.
or they don't want everyone, quote unquote, putting their mouth on their marriage or in their business, so to speak. So they feel we have to put a protective hedge, and you should always have a protective hedge around your marriage, because this is a unit, and you let nothing penetrate it. However, it's just been placed on our hearts to be transparent, as transparent as we can be, and allow you guys a peek into our lives and the struggles and the challenges and the joys and the celebrations that we go through as a couple, as a married couple, and to do our best with just sharing knowledge and wisdom and guidance.
So, real quick. So, hey, Carissa and Crystal.
Hey, y'all.
Tamika says, let's talk about how silence is a killer in relationships.
Silence is mostly always received or perceived to be negative. When someone is or something is silent, or like say if I say something to Jared and he just says nothing in return, I can perceive that as, okay, what's wrong with what I said? He has an issue with something that I said, or
So when I see that question, Tamika, what I think is, what is at the root of the silence? What is at the root of the silence? Often, the root of the silence, there could be a variation of things. Of course, you can give more insight on what you're calling silence, but some things can be that person, that's their way to hide, not address, escape. And Marquita said cope.
Some people have to, before they address, they just need to gather themselves, their thoughts. But then again, it could lead to them avoiding and hiding whatever it is that they need to address.
And then sometimes silence could be because it's too risky to say something, or because the partner doesn't make them feel heard or safe. Yeah. So it's a whole lot in that. Christina, hey Christina McKenzie, Glenn Lewis, let's talk about how not spending quality time kills a relationship. That's what dating is all about, and I'm gonna get to the root of how a good date is a good date. But not spending quality time kills a relationship. Kills a relationship,
especially if quality time is love language of one of the participants.
Right, and even if quality time is not a quote unquote love language, it's vital. Vital for the health of that relationship, and you have to determine what quality time is. Right. Usually, quality time is uninterrupted attention for one another.
Right.
It doesn't necessarily mean or even depend on what you're doing, but it's that undivided, uninterrupted, intentional attention towards one another, blocking out everything else.
Right.
And usually, the most effective, in my opinion, you can chime in, the most effective quality time is one-on-one. Yeah. Not y'all went to a party with
or double dating
30 other people, or double dating with only 2 other people. Not just going to church together. It's undivided attention toward one another, and that's it.
Because you're still cultivating your marriage, no matter what
or your relationship,
no matter what stage you're in or what phase you're in, because we grow and we adjust throughout the entire tenure of the relationship. So who I am today is not who I was maybe a year ago, or maybe a couple years ago, a decade ago. We can say that now. We got a decade in. I'm not the same person.
Right.
So get to know who I am now. My likes and my dislikes have shifted, and I'm not the same person. So let's get to know who I am now. What I like now. What I don't like now. Let's talk about that stuff. And it doesn't have to always be, serious, sit down. I mean, just having fun, just exploring, having light conversation, serious conversation.
I was going to say, because you say, well, it doesn't have to always be serious, sit down, but that may be meaningful for a person.
It
And
could
so
be.
for one person, the serious sit downs can feel like love and feel like you're giving me the attention and we're intentionally working on us. And then for another person, just silly banter and laughing and whatnot can be considered love and intentional work as well. So you have to know your partner and be willing to give them what it is that they need, because the opposite can be true for each specific person. Because the person who um, seems, or the person who looks at the serious sit down as love can look at the silly banter as surface. And we really haven't talked because we've just been laughing and joking. So I still don't feel like we've done some intentional work. And then the opposite, the person who feels like the silly banter and all that is the quality time and the love can cringe on against the serious sit down talk. Right. And so you could have a couple who are at total polar opposites of one another in that. And so that's when growth happens.
That's the give and take and the compromise throughout the relationship.
Now, here is what I say, and I think I've said this before, but I'll say it again because I just believe it, and I want to know what you guys think about it. I don't believe people change. I make a very absolute statement that people don't change. I believe that people grow and people adjust, and they will transform. But I don't believe people change. They are still the same person. So people are saying, well, if you're not going to change, then I'm out of here. Well, you need to go ahead and get out of there, because people don't change, but they will adjust, or they can adjust, and they can grow. So there's a difference there. So I don't want to go into that if that's not something that if that's interesting or not. If it's not interesting, I'm going to go into it. But if it is interesting, then y'all say something, and we can go into it.
What did Glenn say?
Glenn said in-person interacting besides texting and telephone. Yeah.
Yes, that is very, very good. In this new age, it's the newer generation prefer texting and telephone. A lot of them prefer texting over actually picking up the phone and calling the other person and saying, hey, what's up? Actually talking. I mean, back in the day, that was everything. You get home and you get a phone call, you got a message, a voicemail.
Yeah, right.
Like, oh my God. Okay,
you about to sit on this phone for the next 3 hours.
Exactly. Some people fall asleep on the phone together. So
do people do that still?
I don't know. I've been at the game too long. So yeah, in-person interaction is very vital. Because we need companionship. We need another human.
Yeah.
To interact with.
Oh my gosh, it's like.
I mean, it's not really. Okay.
So all right, so they are saying let's go into it. That's very interesting. Let's go into so here are my thoughts. Y'all can tell me your thoughts. I don't believe that people change at all. I believe who you are is who you're always going to be. And here's where I get that from. Where you can have a person who's been on drugs for X amount of years, and then they go to Narcotics Anonymous, and they've been clean for 14 years. They will introduce themselves as, hello, my name is John Doe, and I am an addict, 14 years clean. 14 years clean, but they still say, I am an addict. I'm just 14 years clean. And today I've made a decision to grow. Because tomorrow I can make a decision not to grow. And after 14 years clean, I can pick up that whatever that drug was, and I'm right back to the same space where I was, because that's who I am. That is who I am. And that person can fall right back into doing drugs or whatever the case may be, just like that, because that's who they are. So at the core. So what people do is people adjust. Let's talk about relationships. I am who I am. Marquita is who she is and will always be that. Now, before we got in a relationship with one another, we were in a relationship with other people. And we adjusted to the persons that we were with. So we adjust. but adjustments are always temporary.
Yeah.
We got a relationship with one another, and we adjusted to what we felt the needs were with one another. Mm-hmm. But adjustments are temporary because that's not who we really are. Just like driving a car, right? You can go and get new tires and get the balance on the wheels and get it aligned so it's driving straight down the road. But after a while, after a couple of potholes and your tires are starting to wear down a little bit, that alignment starts veering to the left or veering to the right. And because it's just adjusted. Mm-hmm. After a while, it's going to start veering off again because adjustments are temporary. Mm-hmm. And so I have adjusted for Marquita, and she's adjusted for me, but we're always going to veer back to who we are at our core. Because we're just adjusting to appease or adjusting to get along, right? Mm-hmm. And what you really want to do, though, is that you really want to grow. But growth is slow. I'm going to see all these again. People don't change. Adjustments are temporary. And growth is slow. And here's the reality. Growth is individual. Growth has nothing to do with the other person. Right. You do whatever you do for the other person. That's called adjustment. But when you decide within yourself to grow, you grow because of you and you grow for you. But that's slow, and it takes some real introspective looks within one another. Right. You may realize how you are affecting the other person, and thus you decide you need to grow. Right. But growth is all about you, right? And once you start growing, you haven't changed. It's just every single day you make a growth decision, because because every single day you can also make a selfish decision not to grow. Right. And once you've grown, right, and you've grown over time, and you keep daily making a growth decision to do this or not to do this, then you would begin to transform into something that looks different. Mm-hmm. But you're still the same person, and every single day that you wake up after years of growing, you still that day have to make a decision for growth. Yeah. Does that make any sense? Mm-hmm. All right. Let me see what everybody's saying.
It's an everyday, I won't say battle, but it's an everyday decision.
It's an everyday decision because of who you are in your core. Mm-hmm. Keeps fighting you. Mm-hmm. We're selfish at our core. We're self-centered at our core. We are rebellious at our core. We don't care for others over ourselves at our core. We may say it, but we don't care for others over ourselves. We're gonna put us first. Mm-hmm. So those are the things that are at our core. And when you get with the person, you like what they do for you. Right. And you want them to keep doing whatever it is that is making you happy. And the other person wants the same thing. They want to use you to do whatever it is for them that makes them happy. I don't want to adjust. I just want that thing that I'm getting from you. I want that. And I want it again, and I want it again, and I want it again, and I want it again. I don't want to adjust. I don't want to adjust. I don't want to grow. I am who I am. Just keep giving me what I'm giving me. And you not treat me like you used to treat me, dot, blah, blah. That's because maybe one person is growing and the other person is not growing.
Adjustments can be uncomfortable. It's almost like a pruning. When you're pruning the bonsai, you have to cut off certain behaviors. You have to cut off certain thought processes so that you can grow in a way that you're supposed to grow, not just wild and out of control.
Absolutely.
So it can be very uncomfortable.
Not can be.
Well, it is very uncomfortable.
It will be very uncomfortable.
At times.
Right. Carissa says, I think growth can be fast as well, depending on how urgent you need to change. Well, you ain't going to change, so growth can't be fast. Because, in essence, what you're saying is how urgent you need to adjust something. Or you may...
And even that's just a quick fix.
Right, it's a temporary thing. Mm-hmm. You may want to stop doing something, or you feel guilty about whatever the case may be, but growth is not fast. Period. I don't care however you fix it. Growth is not fast. Like even when you are trying to water a plant does not grow fast. It
Right.
grows slowly and over time. And so, and then a plant doesn't change. If I say, okay, I'm gonna change this plant right here, what I'm really saying, where is it? Bad. What I'm really saying is move this one and put another one there. That's not, so that's not change. That's well, that is change. I'm sorry, that's change. If I say I'm gonna change this plant, I'm gonna move that one and put a new one there. So it's not the same plant. But if I'm gonna grow this plant, I'm gonna keep that same plant there.
Water it, nurture it, talk to it, do what you're supposed to do to cultivate.
Prune it,
Pot it.
repot it, but it's the same plant. So,
it actually, and it depends, like you said, also on the persons, the participants. What do you really want to do? Do you want your relationship to evolve and heal and grow, and just take on different forms and shapes? Do you want this relationship to be healthy? Do you want your companion to be healthy? And if so, then you have to choose every day to be accommodating to the other person, because naturally we just get up and we can take care of ourselves or do what it is that we want to do.
Right.
Without having the unction to consider others. Absolutely. This is what I decided to do for me today.
And you come into my world.
Whether that is buying you a cup of coffee or making up the bed or whatever, I decided to do that. Now, you may benefit from it, but that was my choice.
Right.
Versus, what do you need for me to do today?
Right.
For you.
Mm-hmm. Carissa says, I disagree. What do you disagree about? Or what do you disagree on? The plant will grow based on its environment. Correct. So I'm not sure what you disagree on there. All right, let's see what else. I believe people evolve based on their environment. What's already in them will be magnified. So people evolve based on their environment. Yes, I agree with the latter part. What's already in them will be magnified. and be quite honest with you, what's in us ain't good.
I mean, if we want to get spiritual, that's the truth.
That's true. What's in us is not good, which is why you need to grow. Please talk more about changing. Hey, Miss Shirley.
Hi, Miss Shirley.
Miss Jessica.
Hey, Jessica.
In-person interaction is important when the person shows interest, especially when just dating. Loving this. Awesome. I think people... Okay. Natural... Hey, Erica.
Hey, girl.
Natural sunlight, for example, may cause the plant to grow taller and stronger, versus a lamplight will make it grow slower and greener. Okay, I'm still not...
So they're still growing. They're just taking on different forms.
So what do you disagree about? I agree with that. Natural sunlight, for example, may cause the plant to grow taller and stronger, versus a lamplight will make it grow slower and greener. Perhaps because natural sunlight may not be what that plant needs. If you got one plant that, like this plant here, it don't want natural sunlight.
No.
It will droop. But you got another plant that needs natural sunlight. So yeah, based on, not only based on the environment, but based on you knowing the plant and putting it in the right environment.
Correct.
Because if you know your partner or your companion, you can put that companion in the right environment and nurture it rightly. But if you don't know your companion, then you're going to assume that your companion needs what you need.
Right.
And it's likely they don't need what you need. They don't want what you want. It makes sense to you because that's in your world, and we are selfish at our core. This works for me. This makes sense to me.
So this is what I'm going to do. I'm choosing to do for you.
And it should make sense to you. And it should work for you because it's working for me.
Right.
And so thus they what you call it, a lamplight makes sense to me. That's what I've always known, and it works for me. And you like me, you love me. You say you love me, and you with me. So now, get under the lamplight. You're like, no, I need, and maybe you don't even know that you need natural light, but you do know that you are dying in this relationship because whatever it is you are getting is not working. And yet that person is maybe trying to appease you.
It may be sincere. with trying
and sincere.
I really want you to grow. I really want you to grow.
Working with you and that lamplight.
You're killing me, dog. You're killing me. Hey, Mr. Emmanuel. Hey, Dana.
Hey, Mr. Emmanuel. Dana, what's going on? Now, if you take that home plant outside, it will either die or evolve. No. If you take that plant that's supposed to be outside, it's going to die. It's no either or. If you that particular plant there and any other plant that's supposed to be in the house, you take it outside, there's no either or. It's going to die. Period. Now, it may take a minute. It ain't going to even take that long, to be quite honest with you. You die faster than you grow.
Mm-hmm. That's true. It don't take but.
Now that's a good one now. Woo! Oh my God. You die faster than you grow. The growth is slow.
Always.
Dying, quick.
Boy, you might have to save that for resurrection.
Why you just saying?
I said save that one. Right there.
Let me see your shot. Go ahead and practice.
Boy, get out of here.
All right. So I hope that has helped. That's deep within itself. We're gonna get to this simple dating stuff, but it's deep because as Erica says, because
oh Lord.
Especially men. I think women are like this as well, but it's more subtle. But men
go to bed.
But men, it's like, okay, you are marrying me, or you're in my world now. Let me not go all the way to marriage. Well, let me go to marriage.
And relationships.
But you're in my world now. You're dating me now. I'm going to provide for you. I'm going to take care of you. You take my name on. I have a vision, and I need you to rock with me in my vision. And I need you to support what I'm doing for my vision, which in essence saying, I need you now to make your goal my vision. My vision should be your goal because now you're with me. So which means that whatever vision you had in life before me doesn't matter because now you're with me.
That ain't how it's
and I need you to support me. Go get my coffee. Go be my make these calls for me so I can take care of us. And that sounds noble, but it's
noble. That sounds controlling.
It sounds noble. I understand what you're saying, but I mean, it may be from a noble place.
Take care of me part sounds noble, but all this extra stuff is
because it doesn't seem extra for the person, whether man or woman,
for the dominant person,
and not just the dominant person, because you can have the passive person who is doing the same thing, but just passively.
True.
Which means I shut down on you because I want you in my world.
That's true.
I want you to do what I.
You're just not as direct and blunt. Mm-hmm.
And so that's why it's actually I know, sir. But that's what a lot of people do. It's like, hey man, you with me now. Mm-hmm. So you ain't gotta worry about none of that. I need you to rock with me. So if I'm doing this, you doing this.
And that's why, like, for a lot of
control
females, they'll do things to make sure they feel safe. They have their out, so to speak. I'm not just gonna let you just take control of everything. Some females will have their nest egg. Some females will have a whole offshore account in the Caymans, and they have stuff set up. So if you go to doing something that I don't like or that I feel is changing my identity and all that, I can get out. I can escape.
So what that really is that's control on both sides. Mm-hmm. So he's controlling. So you need to come into my world. You come into my world, and she is saying. So she is being deceitful,
right?
As to trying to make him feel like you're into his world, but what you're really doing is getting him in your world,
right? Stacking,
and not just stacking. The stacking is the deceit part, but it's you are faking the funk, and you really manipulating him on the back end in order for him to fit into your world.
Control.
Which means that nobody is willing to deny self and learn the other person, and then actually invite your world into my world. It's easier. Don't lose your thought. It's easier for me to in essence say, to hell with your world. You need to be in my world, and whatever else you did before me, That's good. We're gonna talk about that, and laugh about that for the next 30 years. But that's over.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
It can be scary for a person to feel like they don't have control. Because it's like in order for me to trust that everything's gonna be all right, I need to be in control.
Right.
I need to make sure everything is gonna work the way I know it's gonna work, the way I say it's gonna work, because this is tried and proven. And if it fails, then I know how to get us back to where we need to be because I'm in control.
And that happens on both. I think you all have heard me say this, but I'll say it again. That trust only happens when you are totally out of control. That's when you actually trust. Mm-hmm. The opposite of that is controlling, mm-hmm. because I don't want to trust.
Mm-hmm. And the scary part, I don't want to.
Right, and we do it all the time. And I've said that I've not trusted my wife most of our marriage. And the reality is that I don't think she's trusted me either, too. Me either, because we control. Because it's just the simple stuff. Like when we're driving, it is obvious that my wife doesn't trust me because she's going to control it. Like, tell me, stop here, go there, turn here, put your hand right there, look there, no, do this. So she doesn't, you may see that as light, but it's the same thing exuding out, wherein I want to control because mm-hmm. it takes too much in me or from me to actually trust you.
Mm-hmm. Especially with driving.
It's not just driving. See, it's not just driving.
Those are no directions.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That's just who you are. You don't trust. You don't want to trust another person for your life.
Right.
And I don't want to trust another person for my life.
But God.
And so we control, and we do God the same way. We control. We control because we don't want to trust. And the only way to trust is to totally let go all control.
That's true. We do that. It's like, God, look, this is my plan. This is what I'm going to do. And I need you to bless it.
I need you to do this. I need you to do it like this.
So
I need you to do it in this time frame.
I want it to go.
Right. Because we don't trust. We control.
Lord forgive us.
Yeah. And that's our selfishness, and that's a lot of, for us, a lot of the small snappiness and small aggravations throughout our day is because one of us doesn't want to trust the other in this scenario, whether it be driving, whether it be doing something with children, or whether it be money, or whether it be sex, or whether it be stuff with the house, bills, businesses, no matter what it is, we have little snags here and there because somebody does not want to trust and just let go, and so they control. And the snag comes in because the other person don't want to be controlled.
Mm-hmm. It's like, hold up, stop it.
Yeah. So, all right. So anyway, so that's that. I don't know how do we get there? Something you said. Anyway. In order to trust, you have to evolve.
Hey!
Segue into the next thing.
Okay. I'm sure they're losing their mind up there. I'm supposed to be in the bed. So, we're going to move forward. Y'all pray for my children. They daddy going up there. Anyhow. Simple dates. That's what we're going to be talking about. That's what we're supposed to be talking about. So, I'm going to start talking about our simple date this past Friday. We celebrated our 15th wedding anniversary, and we honestly just chilled the entire day. We went to the Waffle House and got some breakfast, and then we went to a place called Little Talbot Island. It's near the beach.
It's on the beach.
Oh, it is on the beach. Yeah, it's on the beach. And we had a camping tent. And it was nobody out there but a couple of seasoned elderly. and they were all spaced out. So we had like this huge space just to ourselves, and we had some photo albums. We had speakers so we can listen to music and watch videos. And what else did we have? Blankets and quilts. And we just got in the tent and chilled out. The tide was low
Wait.
first.
So that was it. We're in. Marquita named a lot of stuff. We didn't do any of that. We got in the tent and we got Marquita's phone and we watched some episodes or whatever we watched. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't. That was it. It was very simple. We were on in the tent on the beach.
We planned and prepared to do things, but I mean, when we got out there, we were just chilling, and we just chilled the whole day.
And why we're even mentioning this is because it was one of the best anniversaries we've had. Mm-hmm. But I'll tell you what makes a good date a good date. So after that, now this is our 15th year anniversary, and we do stuff big when we want to. But after that, we got up and we got a smoothie. We went and got a smoothie, showered, and went to dinner.
Oh yeah, we saw that. Mm-hmm. Like, what else we do? Yeah. We did get a smoothie. Mm-hmm.
We went and got a smoothie, and then we showered, and then we went to a dinner. Now the dinner was very fancy, but it wasn't a whole lot of hoopla. We just went to dinner, and we got dressed up.
Yeah.
And I went to a nice fancy restaurant, and we ate dinner. And it was one of the best anniversaries we've had. Now let me tell you what is behind a good date. It's connection. All right, it's what Glenn talked about earlier. It's that undivided attention and it's connection.
Interaction.
All right?
Quality interaction.
Where we were connected. It wasn't about how much money. It wasn't about the destination. Because we had been in Hawaii. You hang with the Jacksons, you go to Hawaii. Twice, right. So we had been to Hawaii a few months before our anniversary. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't about the destination. And this topped Hawaii simply because it was a connection for me. Mm-hmm. It was the connection. Mm-hmm. And you can have a whole lot of people around. But if you got that connection, that's what makes the date. Mm-hmm. And so really we could have stopped at the tent, the little camping tent. Yeah. The camping tent on the island. We stayed out there for about 2-3 hours.
Ooh, yes.
And just watching the water and listening to the water until the water ran us out of there.
Yeah, literally came in and swept us. My shoes is in the ocean, y'all. Yeah. Oh, it was fun. It was exciting. Mm-hmm. It was exciting. I'm like, oh my, it felt like something off a movie.
And here's the growth part of that date for us at 15 years. The growth part was that I know I had in my mind the simple stuff that would aggravate me. Just don't let it aggravate me today, and just keep it moving.
And Curtis says, how did you all form that connection over the years? Understanding one another, and then like he said just now, like things that used to aggravate us it doesn't really get under our skin anymore.
It may, but we've grown to where we respond differently. So here's another key to that. I want y'all to really get this. Here's some pointers we're going to give you. You have to learn to reconnect in your relationship. Mm-hmm. Reconnect. And that helps the connection when you go out on a date or whatever. Reconnect. So here are a few things that we have learned actually very recently in reconnecting. Mm-hmm. One thing that we started doing is that whether it's in the middle of the day, late at night, especially if we are kind of like this, and it can be hard to do, but we've done it, where we put on some music and we'll just dance.
Yeah, like Claire and Cliff. Just put on some music.
I mean, I'm talking about 2 Live Crew twerking. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about
we'll do that too.
No, I don't do that.
I'll do that.
I'm safe.
For him.
We
You saved. I'm saved too.
I help the sinners.
And I still get low.
But we will literally put on some music, some slow jazz or whatever,
Yeah,
and we will actually be together,
Mm-hmm.
and we would just dance and hold one another, and it don't have to be 30 hours or 30 minutes. It could be just one song, and we quiet everything down from us, put our phones down, and we just hold one another and we dance and we just simply reconnect.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's one.
And for me, the jazz music, we put that on basically so I put it on so I can be mindful and present that I'm here, I'm dancing with my husband, we're in this moment, I'm smelling him, and just, we looking at each other, we may talk, but for the most part, we're just enjoying the embrace and all of that. But, because I know if you put on a song like Jodeci or something like that, we're going to start getting into the song. And lose the connection.
Lose one another, because my wife loves music and she'll go somewhere she ain't thinking about me.
No,
she's into the song, and so you got to make sure that connection. Here's another one, number 2. So that one was I guess you can call it slow dancing. Mm-hmm. Number 2 is, I'm not sure what it's called, but it's where we do the eye stare.
I don't know what it's called either.
I'm not sure what it's called. But here's what we do. Every now and then to just reconnect is, once again, put the phones down. Yes, yep. Tamika, that's number 1. There's no connection with the phones present. Yes, Dana, she just started singing. So put the phones down. This is number 2, the eye stare connection. Mm-hmm. Now we learned that you want to get to at least, I think we've gone to
the eye stare connection.
That's the name. Okay. We do 7 minutes. We put the timer on. We put some nice calming music that's not
that musical spa, Pandora.
Right. Mm-hmm. And we get one another. And I'm be honest with you. This works best if you are slightly dressed, because it makes you vulnerable. Mm-hmm. Where either you're totally
get down to your comfort level.
Right. Okay. but it works best if you are more vulnerable in your dress than not. Mm-hmm. And we sit there and we just stare at each other in each other's eyes for like 6-7 minutes. Now that's something hard to do.
Yes, because you got to get past the giggles, or you got to get past the uncomfortability.
Mm-hmm. And perhaps you've not done that to the person you say you love.
See? I'm too shy for that.
Yes. Yeah. But that's going to help you actually connect in a deeper way than anybody else that you know or that you're with, because it's very vulnerable, right?
And what you can do while you're looking into your partner, think about things that you like about that person, stuff that you love about that person, that stuff that makes you feel grateful, while you appreciate them, and then that helps you to get more deeper into the connection, and instead of just staring and right. Like, dang, I didn't know you had a great eyebrow. You got a great eyebrow.
Yeah, don't do that. And then and you don't. What you don't want to do is that you don't want to get in a stare contest.
Yeah.
Because it's not a stare contest. Who gonna blink? Who not gonna blink? And then you can't be nitpicking and mad and all that. Like, because my
say it.
Yeah, because my wife.
Say it.
Because my wife is fidgety, and she can't stay still. And so it's
even now I'm holding his hand, but I'm moving my toes, and that's because I'll get uncomfortable.
which is, she's trying to make herself comfortable, but you need to be willing to be uncomfortable.
So that's why we do 6-7 minutes.
That's the vulnerability. Be willing to be uncomfortable. All right. So here's another one. We're gonna give you these 3, and I'm gonna tell you about another date.
And you said she was going to laugh.
Can't rip each other's clothes off at 2 minutes. And if you do that, fine.
Well, dang, how are we supposed to be connected? That's intimacy without sex.
No, we didn't say that.
But that's the intimacy.
That's not what we said.
Sex. Girl, try to a whole lot for me.
Why we got a whole lot?
Because
maybe they needed that so that they could.
That could be an escape for somebody.
Oh, you're right.
Let's just do it and be done with it. And it's usually the male.
That's not true.
Oh, that's one of the sexes. Why not?
Anyway, Number 3 is okay. Hold on.
Uh, oh,
Listen, when I got married and when I had to look into my husband's eyes, I laughed the whole time. I definitely makes me wrong. Yes, it does, Miss Peggy. Hey, Peggy.
hey, Peggy.
How often do you do the gaze? Fire and desire. So Tamika may be that one. I may not be the dude.
Tamika.
Fire and I'm sorry. How often do you do the gaze? So, be quite honest with you, we do the gaze. It's not a specified number of times or when we do it. To be quite honest with you, sometimes we do it when we are the most disconnected.
Right, and we can feel it. Like I'm irritated.
I'm mad, and you and I hate you right now.
It's like, nigga, I do not want to look at you. I don't even want to be in the same room as you right now.
Growth says I will put that aside. Growth says that I want to put aside my pride, because sometimes holding on to the anger is the pride.
Mm-hmm.
Put that aside and get us back to another space that's easier. You can't, if you do this right, you really can't stay upset with that person. So here's another one. Last one I'll give you, which is probably may seem as the most simple, but it's very effective. Holding hands. Mm-hmm. Simple as holding hands.
Mm-hmm. That touch. That's a form of reconnection.
Reconnect. You gotta reconnect often. Even you can be driving in the car and all of a sudden you all hold hands even while driving. That's a reconnect. Or rather, he grabs her thigh, or he or she touches
place her hand on his hand.
Or she may grab my knee and just hold my knee. Or sometimes I may be riding and she rubs my head. But the holding of the hands is even more important. I mean, the rubbing of the head and all that's good, but it's something about that holding hands that's more intimate than any of that, and is not. No, I'll say about not, but it's more intimate, and it just helps you to reconnect. You can have a drag out knockout fight, but if you put that hand there, now she may snatch it back, like, don't touch me.
Move, boy.
But it's still a vulnerable way to reconnect. I think in making subtle hints, not supple.
Tamika, what's going on with this boy?
Wait, let me go back up first. Hey, you guys love the topic. I think making subtle hints that will bring on the connection is natural. No.
The connection, making hints.
No.
Because you can hint, but who's to say I'm
picking up on the hint.
So, and then if I am picking it up, that don't mean I want to be bothered with you.
Subtle hints are risky.
Because you may not like the response.
Right, and then or the other person may not pick up on the hint. Wow. She already been out.
Oh, come on here, girl.
She's on. Come on. Sit. Relax. Down. So I would say not to do hints. Communicate. Can we reconnect? Or like one day, Marquita, you communicate. You came out here and said, I think you may put my phone down and said, will you dance with me? So it wasn't subtle.
I really wanted to dance that day too.
It was.
But we had been
right.
At odds.
It was communicated, and it was direct. Because the hint of me, just rubbing on you, or saying, "Hey, sweetie," or putting on music,
it may aggravate that person more.
Right. For example, God allows people, places, or things to remind us of His love. God didn't force love. Right. God does not force love. But to remind us of His love and actually and God does not force love. And to remind us of love does not necessarily reconnect us. Because you can be reminded of it and still take no action to reconnect. Because we are reminded of God's love, you talking about God, all the time. That He wakes us up, that He gives us breath to breathe, or that He does something great in our lives. And we're reminded of His love, and yet we still may not pray. We still may not read our Bibles. So the hints, quote unquote, that God may give us because of the blessings may not actually cause us to make an action. And so I would suggest away from the hints and actually be direct. Because
it
it's
doesn't have to be forceful.
right.
Like I was direct.
It's a request.
I asked you, can you dance with me?
Right.
Mm-hmm. That wasn't forceful.
And at the moment, I did not want to.
You didn't. But I'm fine, and I can dance.
It had nothing to do with it being fine or the fact that you can
Don't
dance.
lie to the people.
It was because of growth. I know that she's asking for us to reconnect, and I can reconnect.
Because it took me a minute to get there.
Right, and be good, or we can still be mad. I mean, so reconnect. All right. So here's one of the best dates that we've had this year.
It was in July.
Yeah, the end. July. So we hadn't been with one another for about 40 days, about a little over a month. Marquita was visiting family, and I was back and forth. I had been in Atlanta and all that everything, and so I was in Jacksonville at the time, and Marquita was in Fort Lauderdale. We had been with one another about 40 days, so we decided, hey, let's meet up, and so we met up in
Melbourne.
Yeah, Melbourne, which is the middle ground. So she drove 3.5, I drove 3.5. And again, or 2.5. I'm not 3.5, 2.5. No, not an hour and a half. If yours is a little longer, it's 2.5.
Okay. Yes.
It's 2.5. And so we went to the zoo. Can you get over the fact you were wrong?
Yes.
And come back into the conversation?
Yeah, calculated. Yes.
So we went to the zoo, and don't really care nothing about the animals. And we were glad they were there, but it had nothing to do with the animals. We held hands and just walked around nature, and we reconnected, and we talked about certain things, and we just enjoyed one another. We embraced. We were very flirty.
We ate.
Not at the zoo. Don't skip the story.
We did get some snacks. We had snacks.
Not at the zoo.
I have to have snacks.
We only had Gatorade.
No, I had snacks.
You had no snacks?
I brought snacks.
You didn't.
I never eaten them before I got there.
Because it had nothing to do with me.
Well, I had to eat. Well, go ahead.
All right. Do we need to reconnect? Because you messed up the story.
No,
So anyway, so we walked through the zoo, and after the zoo, we just meandered through the city. We had no real agenda.
And it was a good. The Melbourne Zoo exit had a lot of shops. It had a movie theater, food eateries.
So what we ended up doing was we got in the car and we went and got some ice cream.
Cold Stone.
Yeah, we got some ice cream, and we sat in front of a fountain and just ate ice cream and watched the little kids
get wet.
Yeah, get wet. And so again, we didn't spend a whole lot of money on none of this, but we were reconnecting. The phones were away again. Phones.
And that was discussed.
Yeah, we discussed. Let the phones go.
And we only answered like children or my mom or somebody.
Right. And if anybody died, we'll go to their funeral once it's arranged. But it's not going. We don't need to just answer phones.
Oh my God! Yeah, nothing else.
But anyway, so we ate ice cream, and then here's what was we saw all these shops: Ross, Walmart, Home Goods, da. So I am a different type of guy, right? I saw Home Goods, and I was like, hey, they'll go Home Goods. Let's go to Home Goods. And so that's our thing. We go to Home Goods, and we'll spend a whole hour in there and just looking at stuff and looking at the decorations and blah, blah, blah. And that was part of the date. We didn't spend no money, not a dime. And then I said, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to Ross, and you got a $30 budget, and I got a $30 budget. Go get lost in Ross, and we're going to buy one another something, but you can't go over $30 budget.
That was exciting. That's a challenge.
Yeah. And so we got lost in Ross, and we trying to make sure
we don't see
we'll see one another. And we had a $30 budget. Let me tell you what we did, because we had connected
Mm-hmm.
with one another or reconnected. Not spending a whole lot of money. You know, it doesn't have to be so extravagant. We spent maybe about 30 minutes in there.
Mm-hmm.
And we were well. Now I started so we were done at the same time. We were not. Marquita always takes much longer than I do. But let me tell you what was very interesting. Because we had reconnected, $30 budget. Oh my gosh, what time is it? Okay,
What?
I don't want to go over our time.
We spent the exact amount.
The exact same amount, and we bought the exact same
down
stuff.
to the penny.
$29.33.
Yes.
We both spent $29.33, and we both bought the same type of stuff.
Right.
Same exact stuff.
Crazy.
I think we both bought one another a gadget for the phone. Mm-hmm. We both bought one another underwear and an outfit. We didn't say that we were going to do any of that, but it just happened. Yeah. We both bought each other 3 things. Mm-hmm. We didn't say that, but it just happened. Both spent the exact same dollar amount and the exact same things.
Yeah, that was Freaky Friday scary. That was.
Yeah. And it was just, and then after that, we ate some crabs.
Amen. Praise the Lord.
And she went back to Fort Lauderdale. I went back to Jacksonville. Well,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. After night
of passion.
Yeah.
You gotta get that in there, Tamika.
Yeah. I don't call Tamika out like that. Yeah.
Because she does.
After the night at the hotel.
Oh yeah, we did. We got a hotel. Mm-hmm.
And she went back, and I went back.
Sent him on his way. It was good.
So simple. It's all about. It's all about reconnecting. All right, we're it's already an hour. We're an hour and 2 minutes over our time. We're 2 minutes over our hour time. We were late. Yes.
We got 2 minutes left.
We got 2 minutes left. All right, bet. So any do y'all got any simple dates
that you guys have been on, or some ideas that just came to your head?
Yeah. Another one, while they're thinking, and I would just take a minute, is when we were dating, where I didn't have no money at all, and I took $5 and I bought you. After we got a plate from one of the mothers of the church after Sunday, we ate in the little living room dorm thing. I got you a Twinkie.
Yes.
And I bought me some hot peanuts and bought each other a water. That's all I had money for. I think I like $5. I had no money for gas. I had no money for nothing. We hadn't ate that little Tupperware food, and I bought you some peanut. No, so a Twinkie. Got me some peanuts, got some water, and we went to Piedmont Park, and we just walked the park for about 2 hours, laughing, joking, and talking about people in the park.
Yes, child.
That was one of the best dates ever. Oh, here's another one.
The picnic.
The picnic.
Yeah. So he was coming to see me in Tallahassee. We went and got I got a basket, a nice picnic basket. And then I got some those Archway
cookies,
iced oatmeal cookies, some grapes, some sparkling grape juice because I didn't know if he drank yet. I did, but I was trying to make a good impression. And then we had a blanket.
That was it.
And that was it. And we
I think you spent maybe all the $30.
Yeah, maybe. And we went to McClay, and it was a nice basket. That basket lasted us for some years. But we went to McClay Park, and we had a picnic.
And we sat on
the blanket
until Marquita went crazy about bugs that did not exist.
No, they exist. I don't like bugs. It was everywhere.
It was 400 ants on her ankles that did not exist.
You just lied on me.
And it was nets in her eyes that did not exist.
The food was good. He had a great time.
Simple dates, but again, the root of the dates are undivided attention and true connection. True connection. It's the dates where you're trying to be impressive and trying to go over the top. Can be well, but that doesn't necessarily mean connection. So
next on our list, we got to get some bicycles, because I want to get some bicycles and just go for a bike ride. Go to different neighborhoods and just ride And learn your city.
So let me end with this. Oh, okay, so we're good.
Mm-hmm.
So let me end with this in these last 30 seconds.
Some people need ideas.
We just
Bike
gave you about
rides.
9 ideas.
Stop, I give them some other ideas now. Bike rides is good. Y'all can exercise together. And then after you exercise, go get something to not fuel.
Together.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Or bake something. That's romantic. That's really nice. We might have to do that in one of these segments.
Cook for
a 30-minute meal. Get a little voila, a little garlic knots. That's quick.
Okay. But I mean, that has to be, we have to show, you have to put the candles out and all that. You haven't done that for me in ever. Since you fixed me them canned pineapples. You haven't done me a romantic dinner ever.
I ain't even know romantic dinner.
No.
I just pay for the people to do it.
You ain't did that either. Chantel says last Friday we danced at home. Excellent. We caught the lights off. We cut the lights off and plugged up the disco ball and danced to 90s mix.
Where you got the disco ball from?
Yes.
Hey, you danced to a 90s mix with the disco ball?
Yes. That was on
Just got your strobe like.
Set it off. Hey, don't correct it. You can't help it. So yeah, that's dope. So recap. Date.
Ooh, late night swimming. Come
Date.
on, Joe.
Skinny dipping.
He says late night swimming.
He meant to say skinny dipping.
Ooh, freaks come out at night. What time is it? Yes, indeed.
Amazon. Oh, she got it from Amazon.
Okay.
I'm like, Amazon, that's a date. So date one another. Now, here's what I've asked
Day trips.
For us to do. And it's to start a weekly date night. Mm-hmm. Especially when you get to where, or date day during the day. Mm-hmm. But weekly, and religiously, like you go to church every Sunday. We don't do nothing but go to church on that particular time frame on Sunday. Religiously date. We go riding in the car, looking at houses.
Yes, we used to do that too, Yes. Yes. We still do that.
We still do that, yes. Especially Marquita being a...
Yeah, we just got access to get in the houses now.
A realtor. And I didn't have access. I would go in, though.
Yeah,
I would just open the door.
God.
So that's relaxing, too. That's very good. So, yeah, it doesn't have to take a whole lot of money. It's about the connection. It's about the connection. So those 3 ways to connect again or reconnect with one another is holding hands. Mm-hmm. The eye stare and also dancing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, whatever type of dancing.
So you don't know nothing about jazz club. We recreated that. You don't know about jazz club.
No, I know about moon.
No, we know about the moon.
Joe, Sloppy Joe.
What's that? Tallahassee?
Yeah, that's my Tallahassee. See, I clubbed when I was
jazz
and was supposed to.
Jazz code.
So y'all was sneaking in there, wasn't it?
You wasn't sneaking?
How old you had to be to get in there?
It didn't matter. I was in there.
Exactly.
I didn't sneak.
Oh, you had a fake ID?
No.
You just walked in? Or you
the
just paid?
Front door.
Oh, you had clout?
Do you know who I am?
Oh, Lord.
They did.
The arrogancy. Whew.
And y'all did not have to sit down and stare in each other's eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Tally. Oh, girl, please. All right, bye, y'all.
Good old days.
Hey, share this, and we'll see y'all next week.
Bye, y'all.
And listen, wait. If 2 things, if you need couples counseling, there have been a few of you who have reached out. That's what we do.
Yeah. So
reach out, inbox or whatever, and we will get you over to our team, and they'll put you on our schedule and let you know what all you got to do in order to get on our schedule. Because it's not just you just get on our schedule. So if you need that, we believe in it. We've done it for years. We still do it for our marriage. Mm-hmm. So hook up, connect as well. And if you need, if you want us to address a particular topic or something, hit us up, let us know, and we'll make sure we get it. Good night, y'all.
Good night. Get some rest.